So I'm continuing my video session for past papers, and this time I've selected 0620. Unit is 21 and it's of May, June 2025. You know it's paper 2, multiple choice, extended version. The total time for this paper is 45 minutes. For the instructions, you know there will be 40 questions on this paper. You have to answer all the questions. For each question, there are 4 possible answers, A, B, C, and D. So you have to choose the one which you think is correct. You have to write in chalk pencil. Do not use correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. You may use a calculator. The total mark 40. 30 will is printed in this paper. So let's start with question number 1. A gas is placed in a sealed container with a fixed volume. The gas is heated. Which statements are correct? The gas molecules move around faster. This is correct because when you heat it, the particles gain energy. Particles or molecules gain energy and they will start moving faster. 2, the gas particles collide with the walls of the container more frequently. This is also true. So if 1 and 2 is true, so it must be A. For a convenience, I'm checking 3 also. The pressure in the container decreases. This is incorrect. Because the pressure in the container increases, it does not decrease. So A will be the right choice in this case. Number 2, a sample of ethanol is heated at a constant rate. The heating curve for this sample is shown. You see, here's a heating curve. On x-axis, you have time. On y-axis, you have temperature. Which statement about the heating curve is correct? A, ethanol changes its physical state between 3 and 4. This is incorrect because between 3 and 4, you have only one state. These positions shows only one state. These are the points like 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 where state changes. State changes. That is 2, 3, 4 till 5. So this is incorrect. B, ethanol condenses between 2 and 3. Ethanol is not condensing. It's gaining energy. It's gaining energy. So its condensation is not happening here. It must be like, if we consider this one as solid state, it must be melting. So this is also incorrect. C, energy is absorbed between 3 and 4, but not absorbed between 4 and 5. This is also incorrect because energy is absorbed between 4 and 5, 3 and 4, as well as between 4 and 5. This is also incorrect. So automatically last statement must be correct. I'm reading the statement. More energy is absorbed between 4 and 5 than between 2 and 3. Yes, more energy will be absorbed between 4 and 5 than 2 and 3. More energy absorbed. If you compare it with points 2 and 3. Going to next MCQ. Which atom has an equal number of protons, neutrons, and electrons? For this, I need to know the proton number of these. We have argon, hydrogen, sodium, and nitrogen. Ar is argon, H is hydrogen, Na is sodium, N is nitrogen. So for argon, we have 18. Hydrogen, it's 1. Sodium, it's 11. Nitrogen, 7. So I'm writing it down. So if you look at these numbers, if you want to find the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons, the number of protons, you can get it by looking at the atomic number, proton number, as well as electrons also. So for argon, it's 18. Electron, also 18. What about neutron? In order to find the neutron, you need to subtract 18 from 40. So if you subtract 18 from 40, what you will get? You will get 22. This is incorrect. What about hydrogen? 1, comma 1 and 1 minus 1, 0. It's also incorrect. What about C? We have 11 protons, 11 electrons, and 23 minus 11, 12. Also incorrect. D must be the right answer. You look at this, proton 7, electron 7, neutrons 14 minus 7, 7. It must be the right answer.
Welcome to Chain of Qualified Tutors. Unlock your academic potential with expert tutoring, from secondary school to graduation level. Master math, science, English, and more with personalized one-on-one guidance. Call or WhatsApp for a free demo session. We offer on-site and online tuition.
Answer. Number 4, the only naturally occurring isotope in a sample of European is R, EU-151 and EU-153. This sample of Europium has a relative atomic mass, AR of 152. What is the percentage of EU-151 present in this sample? To 3 significant figures. Now you know the formula. If we'll consider 151, EU-151 as X, then EU-153 will be considered as 100 minus X. So I'm going to write it down. 151 EU is equal to X. So you have EU-153 as 100 minus X. And AR is given, which is 152. So for 151, multiply by X. So this will be the percentage. We have to divide it by 100. Plus for 153, 100 minus X divided by 100 again. And AR 152. Solving this, what you will get? You will get 151X plus 153 multiplied by 100, 15,300 minus 153X is equal to 152. So you will multiply 152 by 100. You will get 15200, 15,200. And on this side, we will have 150 minus 151, 151X minus 153X becomes minus 2X. So I will write minus 2X plus 15,300, or minus 2X is equal to 15,200 minus 15,300. This becomes minus 100. And you divide it minus X 100 by 2, what you will get? 50. So 50%. B must be the right answer in this case. B must be the right answer in this case. Moving to next MCQ, which is number 5. Which statement about potassium chloride is correct? A, it has a high melting point because it is a giant structure with strong covalent bonds. It's an ionic compound. Remember, it's an ionic compound. Ionic compounds does not have covalent bond. So statement A is incorrect. B, it conducts electricity when solid because of its oppositely charged ions never conduct electricity in the solid state. Also incorrect. C, it conducts electricity when molten because its ions can move. This is correct. Because in the molten state, ions can move. For a convenience, I'm checking the last statement also. It is insoluble in water. Also incorrect. Most of the ionic compounds, they are soluble in water. So this is incorrect. Only C must be the right answer in this case. 6. Which dot and cross diagram shows the outer shell electron arrangement in a molecule of nitrogen? Where is nitrogen? Nitrogen is in group 7. Group 5, sorry. This is group 5. And the valency for group 5 is -3. When two nitrogen joins, they are having 5 valence electrons, each needing 3 electrons to complete their valence shell. So they will share 3 valence electrons with each other, leaving only one lone pair. So B must be the right answer in this case. These are the lone pairs left. And 3 pair of electron are shared. MCQ number 7. Which statement about silicon 4 oxide is correct? A. It contains silicon ions and oxide ions. No need to read any further. It does not contain ions. It is having a giant structure, but does not have ions. So A is incorrect. B. It is used in electrical circuits because it can conduct electricity is also incorrect because it does not have any free electrons to conduct electricity. See, its bonds each contain one shared pair of electrons. This looks correct to me because each bonding they contain one shared pair of electrons. D, its atoms are arranged the same way as the atoms in graphite. This is also incorrect because arranged in the same way as the atoms in diamond, not graphite. C is the final and right answer. 8. Three organic molecules are described. Now, molecular formula of propanoic acid is CH3, CH2, COOH. The molecular formula of lactic acid is CH3, CHOH, COOH. A glucose molecule consists of 6 carbon atoms, 6 oxygen atoms, and 12 hydrogen atoms only. Which molecules have the same empirical formula? For this, we need to write down the empirical formula of each of these. For propanoic acid, the molecular formula will be, we have 3 atoms of carbon, so C3, hydrogen 3 plus 2 plus 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, H6. Oxygen is 2. It can't be simplified. So this will be the empirical formula for propanoic acid. What about the molecular formula of lactic acid? We have 1, 2, 3, C3, 3 atoms of carbon, hydrogen 3, 4, 5, 6, H6. What about oxygen? O3. This can be simplified. This becomes CH2O. This is the empirical formula. Glucose contains 6 carbon atoms, C6. 12 hydrogen atoms, H12. 6 oxygen atoms, O6. The empirical formula will be CH2O. So lactic acid and glucose, these have same empirical formula. So D must be the right answer in this case. 9. Calcium carbonate reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. The equation for the reaction is shown. 1 gram of calcium carbonate is added to 50 centimeter cube of 0.05 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid. Which volume of carbon dioxide is made in this reaction? Now in the question, they gave us the mass of calcium carbonate and volume plus concentration of hydrochloric acid. So we need to find the moles of each for each of these. So for calcium carbonate, why it's very important? Because in this way, we'll be able to find which one is the limiting reactant. Once we know the limiting reactant, then we will be able to find the moles of the product. And in this case, they are asking about the carbon dioxide. And once you have the moles of carbon dioxide, you can easily calculate the volume of carbon dioxide at RTP. Okay, fine. So calcium carbonate, CaCO3. What's the MR of calcium carbonate? CaCO3. In order to find the moles, you need to divide 1 gram by MR of CaCO3. Ca 40, carbon 12, oxygen. There are 3 atoms of oxygen. So 3 multiplied by 16, you will get 48. 48 plus 12 plus 40. What you will get? You will get 100. 1 divided by 100. 1 divided by 100. 0.01. 0.01 moles of calcium carbonate. What about HCl, hydrochloric acid? 50 centimeter cube of 0.05 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid. In 1 dm cube, you know that there will be 1000 centimeter cube. So I will write 1000 centimeter cube contains 0.05 moles. Therefore, 50 centimeter cube contains X moles. X is equal to 0.05 multiplied by 50 divided by 1000. Point 0.05 multiplied by 50 divided by 1000. 0.0025. 0.0025 moles. So according to the equation, I'm using this area CaCO3 HCl. 1 mole reacting with 2 moles. Therefore, 0.01 mole react with X mole. So what you will get? X is equal to 0.02 mole. 0.02 mole will be required. And the question they gave us 0.0025. This one is the limiting. HCl is the limiting. Because CaCO3 is in excess. And if you look at the relationship between HCl and CO2, 2 mole produces 1 mole. And I'm going to use this mole. 0.0025 moles gives X mole. So X is equal to 0.0025 divided by 2. 0.00125. 0.00125. And this will be multiplied by 24,000 for centimeter cube, because the answer they gave us in centimeter cube. What you will get? 0.00125 multiplied by 24,000, and we are getting 30 centimeter cube. So CA must be the right answer in this case. Moving to next MCQ, which is number 10. The diagram shows the electroplating of a steel object. We have copper electrode, which is anode. This one is anode. Positive sign means it's anode. Steel object is cathode. And aqueous copper 2 sulfate solution is used here. The student makes 3 statements. 1, the steel object turns a reddish brown color. Number 2, the aqueous copper 2 sulfate changes to a paler blue color. 3, the copper electrode becomes thinner. Which statements are correct? So, statement number 1, the steel object turns a reddish brown color. Yes, this is correct. It will definitely turn to reddish brown because the copper will deposit on the steel object. What about statement number 2, the aqueous copper 2 sulfate changes to a paler blue color? This is incorrect because it will retain its color as the ions of the Cu2 plus will be compensated by the anode. That copper anode dissolves to compensate the loss of Cu2 plus ion in the solution. So this is incorrect. So if 2 is incorrect, so it seems that C must be the right answer in this case. All these statements are, all the other choices are incorrect. For convenience, I'm reading the last statement again. The copper electrode becomes thinner. This is correct because it will dissolve to produce Cu plus 2 ions to compensate the loss of Cu2 plus ion in the solution. C must be the right answer in this case. Number 11. Concentrated aqueous sodium chloride is electrolyzed using inert electrodes. Which equation shows the correct ionic half equation for the reaction at the anode? So we have concentrated sodium chloride. So we must be having chlorine gas produced at anode, and we know that oxidation, that is loss of electron. or loss of electrons takes place at anode. So in this case, P must be the right answer. You see here, 2Cl minus gives Cl2 plus 2 moles of electrons. Moving to next MCQ, which is number 12. Which equation represents the overall reaction in a hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell? We know that in hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell, water is the only product produced here. So A must be the right answer in this case. No other equation is showing the production of water. So A must be the right answer. No need to look at the other choices. Hydrogen and oxygen is reacting to produce this water. 13. Water is added to anhydrous copper 2 sulfate in a test tube. The mixture becomes hot. Which type of reaction and reaction pathway diagram apply to this reaction? Now, anhydrous copper 2 sulfate. So when water is adding, it's becoming hot, which means that it's releasing heat to the surroundings. So either C is correct or D is correct. And in the exothermic reaction, we know that product will be at lower energy state than the reaction. C must be the right answer in this case. No need to check D. 14. The equation represents the reaction between ethanoic acid and ethanol. So we have ethanoic acid, this is ethanoic acid, and this one is ethanol. Product is ester, that is ethyl ethanoate and water. Which type of reaction does this show? A, addition. It's not addition because in addition you will get only one product. B, neutralization. Neutralization you will get salt plus water or only salt. It's not producing salt here. C, reduction. It's also not reduction. D, it's a reversible reaction. This one is correct. So D is the right answer in this case. 15. The graph shows the results of adding excess calcium carbonate to hydrochloric acid at 50 degrees centigrade and at 30 degrees centigrade. Only the temperature is changed. So we have time on x-axis, and on y-axis we have total volume of carbon dioxide given off in centimeter cube. Which row describes the reacting particles at 30 degrees centigrade compared to those at 50 degrees centigrade? So we are comparing the particles at 30 degrees centigrade to those at 50 degrees centigrade. Definitely the frequency of collision will be lower. So either C is correct or D is correct. A and B is incorrect. But what average kinetic energy of particles? This will also be lower as compared to those at 50 degrees centigrade. So D must be the right answer in this case. Industrially, ammonia is made by the Haber process. The equation is shown. The conditions used are 450 degrees centigrade and 200 atm. Which statements about the conditions are correct? 1. Temperatures below 450 degrees centigrade gives a lower rate of reaction. This one is correct. Because if you decrease the temperature, the rate will decrease. So if one is correct, either A is correct or B is correct. Both C and D is incorrect. You see, I've narrowed down the choices. Now it becomes easier for you to choose the best answer. So if you want, you can check that statement number 3, but that's for sure it must be incorrect here. So now looking at the statement number 2, temperatures below 450 degrees centigrade give a lower yield of ammonia. Is this statement correct? This statement is incorrect. The reason is that the lower temperature, you will get high yield of ammonia because the forward reaction is exothermic, which favors low temperature. So if you will decrease the temperature, you will get higher yield of ammonia. So this statement is incorrect. So A is incorrect. B must be the right answer. For your convenience, I am reading the 3 and 4. Pressures above 200 atm give a lower yield of ammonia. This is also incorrect because if you look at the number of moles on each side, on the reactant side, we have 1 plus 3. On the product side, we have 2. So on the reactant side, there will be 4 moles against 2 moles on the product side. So higher pressure give higher yield of ammonia. So this is also incorrect. What about 4? Pressures above 200 atm are too expensive to maintain. This is correct because we need highly pressurized vessels in this case. So 4 is correct. So 1 and 4 is correct here. Moving to next MCQ, which is 17. Ethanol is warmed with acidified potassium manganate 7. Which row describes the type of reaction of the ethanol and the color change observed in the reaction mixture? So when ethanol is warmed with acidified potassium manganate, it's an oxidizing agent. It oxidizes. It oxidizes ethanol. So the type of reaction is oxidation. So either A is correct or B is correct. Both C and D is incorrect. What about the color change? Potassium manganate 7 is purple. It will change to colors, purple to colors. So B must be the right answer in this case. 18. Two experiments involving acids R or S are done. When 1 mole of acid R completely dissolves in 500 centimeter cube of water, 0.0048 mole of acid R is dissociated in the solution. When 1 mole of acid S is completely dissolves in 500 centimeter cube of water, 0.0179 mole of acid S is dissociated in the solution. Which statement about acids R and S is correct? Now they gave us the information about the dissociation. If you look at the number of moles for dissociation, it tells that they are incompletely dissociated, which means both of these acids are weak. So straight away, no need to check the other choices. We have acid R and S are both weak acid. This one is the right response. Other responses are incorrect. All the responses are incorrect. 19. Lead 2 sulfate is an insoluble salt which process is not used to prepare a pure sample of this salt. If it's insoluble salt, you will definitely go for precipitation reaction. In precipitation reaction, you will be obtaining this lead sulfate as a residue in precipitation. Reaction. So you can't have crystallization in this. All the other processes are correct. You need to try it. You need to filter the solution. When you're getting the residue of lead 2 sulfate, you need the method, that's precipitation. So A must be the right answer in this case. Crystallization can't be done for this one. 20. The formula of two hydrated salts are shown. CuSO4.X2O, COCl2 plus Y dot Y H2O. What are the values of X and Y? This is something which you have to learn. So CuSO4, X is 5. So either A is correct or B is correct. C and D is incorrect. What about Y for COCl2? It is 6. So B must be the right answer in this case. MCQ number 21. The properties of the elements change from left to right across the periodic table. Which statement describes how the properties change across period 3? Elements change from gases to solid. This is incorrect. Because if you look at the periodic table, you have metals on the left hand side and we have solids and gases on the right hand side. You have a solid and gases, and also you have non-metal. Metal to non-metals. Trend will be like this: metals to non-metals. You are having solid here, and what you will be having, we have solid and gases. This is incorrect. B, elements change from non-conductor to electrical conductor. This is also incorrect because metals are good conductors. So the change will be electrical conductors to non-conductors. C, elements change from metal to non-metal. This looks correct to me. For a convenience, I'm checking the last statement. D, elements have a decreasing number of electron shells. This is incorrect because in the period, within the same period, same number of filled electron shells within the same period. Number 22. Which property decreases down group 7 of the periodic table from chlorine to iodine? From chlorine to iodine. So which property decreases? To me, it's the reactivity that decreases. Atomic number, it increases. Density increases. Reactivity, it decreases. What about the melting point? It increases. So we have only one property that decreases. So C must be the right answer for 22. 23. Some properties of elements are listed. 1. They have good electrical conductivity. 2. They have high melting points. 3. They are malleable. 4. They have ions with variable oxidation numbers. Which properties are correct for both iron and lithium? Where is iron and lithium? So iron, it's in the middle, which means it's the oxygen element. Lithium, it's in group 1. So lithium, both of these, group 1, they have good electrical conductivity. Yes, this is true for both of these. They have high melting point. This is incorrect. The lithium has low melting point. So if 2 is incorrect, so C and D must be incorrect. Either A is correct or B is correct. Okay, they are malleable. Yes, they are malleable. So it seems that A must be the right answer. For convenience, I am checking the last statement. They have ions with variable oxidation number. Only Fe has. Yes, so this is also incorrect. So A must be the right answer in this case. 24. 2 statements about noble gases are listed. Number 1, noble gases are reactive. Monatomic gases. This is incorrect. They are not reactive. Number 2, I will write unreactive. Number 2, noble gases all have a full outer shell of electrons. This statement is correct. Which statements about noble gases are correct? Both statements are correct. No need to read further. This is incorrect. Both statements are correct. B is incorrect. Either C is correct or D is correct. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is not correct. This is wrong. D must be the right answer, because statement 2 is correct, but statement 1 is not correct. They are unreactive monatomic gases. 25. Which statement about the properties and uses of copper is correct? A, it is used in electrical wiring. It is ductile. This looks correct to me. For your convenience, I am checking the other statements also. B, it is mixed with tin to make the alloy brass. Is incorrect, because zinc is mixed with copper to make alloy brass. See, it is used in overhead electrical cables because it has a low density. This is incorrect. It does not have low density. That's why it's not used in overhead electrical cables. Aluminium is used. D, it is used in takeaway food containers because of its resistance to corrosion. This is also incorrect. Aluminum forms protective oxide layer. That's why aluminum is used in food containers, not copper. So A must be the right answer in this case. 26. 3 statements about solid Z are listed. It reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to produce hydrogen. It reacts very slowly with cold water and quickly with steam. It's a good thermal conductor. What is solid Z? Looking at this information, it seems not highly reactive metal. Reactive metal, but not highly reactive. Like it's not among the top one. Gold can't be the right answer. It's least reactive, does not react with dilute acid, and does not react with cold water or steam. B looks correct to me. For convenience, I'm checking the other one. C, potassium, it's also incorrect because it reacts vigorously with dilute acid and also fast with cold water and explosively with steam. So C is incorrect. Silver is among the least reactive metals at the bottom of the series. So this is also incorrect. So B must be the right answer in this case. 27. Four metals J, K, L, and M are added separately to aqueous solutions of their ions. The results are shown. So the tick mark means their reaction is happening. Cross means no reaction. Which statement about the metals is correct? So let's place these metals according to their reactions in this. So J seems highly reactive. So I'm writing J highly reactive. Then after this J there must be L. After L there must be K, and M must be less reactive. This one highly reactive. Least reactive. So J has a greater tendency to form positive ions than K. Yeah, this statement seems correct to me, but for your convenience, I'm checking the other statements also. L has a greater tendency to form positive ions than J. L, no, this is wrong, because J is more reactive than L. K has a greater tendency to form positive ions than L. This is incorrect, because L is more reactive than K. M has a greater tendency to form positive ions than K. This is also incorrect. So A must be the right answer in this case. 28. Which process is used in the extraction of iron from hematite? So during the extraction of iron from hematite, the process is reduction. C must be the right answer in this case. All the other choices are incorrect. 29. Galvanizing prevents iron from rusting. Which statements about galvanizing are correct? Galvanizing involves coating the iron with silver. No, it does not involve coating with silver. It involves coating with zinc. If one is incorrect, then A and B is incorrect. Either C is correct or D is correct. 2. Galvanizing prevents oxygen and water from coming into contact with the iron. This looks correct to me. So I think, again, either C is correct or D is correct. Checking the last statement. Galvanizing works because a metal coating loses electrons more readily than iron. This also looks correct to me. 3 is also correct. So C must be the right answer in this case. D is incorrect. 30. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are essential elements for improved plant growth, which mixtures provide all three essential elements. So we need these three elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. For 30, it seems A is the right answer. I'm also looking at the other choices. In D, we don't have potassium. In C, again, we don't have potassium. In D, we don't have phosphorus. So A must be the final and right answer. In this case, all the other choices are incorrect. 31. Which statement helps explain why an increasing amount of carbon dioxide or methane in the atmosphere causes global warming? 1. Carbon dioxide absorbs thermal energy from the earth. Does carbon dioxide absorb thermal energy from the earth? Is this statement correct? Yes, this is correct. It is absorbing energy, thermal energy from the earth. But what statement number 2? Methane does not absorb thermal energy from this. This is wrong. This also absorbs thermal energy from the sun. 3. Carbon dioxide does not reflect. Before going to 3, I will confirm this. C and D is incorrect. Either A is correct or B is correct in this case. So, statement 3, carbon dioxide does not reflect thermal energy from sun to the earth. No, it is reflecting. This is incorrect. It reflects thermal energy from sun to the earth. Yes, it does reflect. This is incorrect. 4, methane reflects thermal energy from earth back to the earth. This one is also correct. This one is correct. So B must be the right answer in this case. All the other choices are incorrect. 32. The exhaust gases from cars contain oxides of nitrogen. How are these oxides of nitrogen formed? A, nitrogen, oxygen from the air react together at the high temperature in the engine. This looks correct to me. For convenience, I'm checking the other statements also. B, nitrogen and oxygen from the petrol react together in the car exhaust. This is wrong because the petrol does not contain nitrogen. See, nitrogen from the petrol reacts again. Nitrogen does not contain, petrol does not contain. Nitrogen is incorrect. Nitrogen reacts with oxygen from the air in the catalytic converter. This is incorrect. It does not react in the catalytic converter. So A must be the right answer in this case. That is nitrogen oxygen from the air. They will react at high temperature in the engine. The structural formula of methyl ethanoate is CH3COO CH3. Which compounds are structural isomers of methyl ethanoate? This is very easy. If you look at the formula, what I'm going to do, the structural formula is written. I will write down the molecular for this because what does isomers have in common? They have same molecular formula. So the molecular formula for this methyl ethanoate is, we have 3 carbon, 1, 2, 3. So C3, hydrogen, 3 plus 3, 6, H6, oxygen, 1, 2, 4. So look at these. What about 1? HCOOCH2, CH3. We have how many carbon? 3 carbon, yes. Hydrogen, 6, yes. Oxygen 2, yes. What about number 2? C3, yes. Hydrogen, 6, yes. Oxygen 2, yes. What about 3? How many carbon? 1, 2, 3, yes. 3, 3. Hydrogen, we have 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 1 plus 1, H8. How many oxygen? So 1 and 2, both of these are structural isomers of methyl ethanoate. B must be the right answer in this case. What is the total number of covalent bonds in one molecule of propane? Propane is the third member of alkane, the alkane family. Propane, the third member, the formula is C3H8. So total number of covalent bonds. So this is the displayed formula of propane. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm saturating each carbon atom. Now I'm putting hydrogen. Let's see the total number of covalent bonds here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. C must be the right answer in this case. 35. Industrially, ethanol is produced by fermentation or by the reaction of ethene with steam. Which row is correct? The fermentation, it does not use a temperature of 100. It's incorrect. So it's incorrect. No need to check the other statement for ethene plus steam. If one of the statements is incorrect, then the whole choice will be incorrect. B, needs the presence of yeast. This looks correct to me. C, fermentation is slow reaction. This is also correct. D, high yield of ethanol. This is incorrect. Incorrect. Either B is correct or C is correct. Let's see B. Ethene does not need a catalyst. This is incorrect. Ethene plus steam, we need acid catalyst in this. C must be the right answer. I'm checking for ethene plus steam. It's a fast reaction. So fermentation is a slow reaction. Ethene plus steam is a fast reaction. C is the right answer in this case. 36. Some properties of an organic compound J are listed. It is a liquid at room temperature. It is soluble in water. A solution of J reacts with calcium carbonate to form carbon dioxide. A solution of J has a pH of 3. In which homologous series does J belong? Looking at this information, you can say it must be having acidic group because the acid react with metal carbonate to produce carbon dioxide. And other thing, the pH of 3 also indicates it's below 7, which indicates it's an acid. So it must be carboxylic acid. Other choices are incorrect. 37. The structures of two monomers that are used to make a condensation polymer are shown. Which structure represents one repeat unit of the condensation polymer formed? So they are saying that we have to look for the one repeat unit of the condensation polymer formed. So for the condensation polymer, you need to remove water molecule. So you need to remove H from here, from these, and OH from here. So there must be C double bond O, C double bond O, and O. The B seems correct to me. I will check the other choices also. All the other choices are incorrect. B only seems to me gets correct, because if you look at this, it must be coming from this one, and this part is coming from this monomer. So B is the right answer in this case. 38. Which item of apparatus is used to measure 25 centimeter cube of aqueous sodium hydroxide? It must be pipette. D must be the right answer in this case. 39. Which method is used to obtain copper 2 sulfate crystals from an aqueous solution of copper 2 sulfate? It must be evaporation. You can't get it by chromatography or condensation or filtration. Last, a mixture of 4 different colorless amino acids is analyzed by paper chromatography. The final chromatogram is shown. Why does a chromatogram only show 3 spots? So they are saying 4 different amino acids. Now, why does a chromatogram only show 3 spots? A locating agent is not used. If they have not used the locating agent, you won't be able to see the spots. So this must be incorrect. What about B? One of the amino acids is insoluble in the solvent. This looks correct to me. This is a possibility that one of the amino acids is insoluble in the solvent. That's why we won't be able to see the 4th spot. The solvent front is too near the top of the paper. It's also incorrect. It doesn't make any sense. Solvent front is too near the top of the paper. 2 of the amino acids have the same RF value. This is incorrect. You can't have 2 amino acids having same RF value, because they are different colorless amino acids. So D is incorrect. So B must be the right answer in this case. Thanks for watching. Press like and share my videos. For more videos, subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon.